Capsule wardrobes are structured and minimal. Granny squares are playful and expressive. I love both, and I wondered, could I make them work together? So I asked AI to create a design that would fit into my capsule wardrobe and my style. Relaxed, refined, glowing. And it gave me something that I fell in love with and decided to make. Starting with the yarn, I knew I wanted something of high quality, soft but still durable. So I chose a cotton silk and cashmere blend in navy, cream and taupe. I played around with hook sizes until I found one that gave me just the right balance, enough drape but not too much droop. In order for the cardigan to be clean and intentional, I looked for larger granny squares and settled on a big sunburst pattern and a lacy pattern that worked well together. With the patterns and colors chosen, the next decision was distribution. The front was based on the AI mock-up, but for the back I had to invent the layout completely. That also raised the question of how many squares I'd need in each color. And then came the trickiest part, figuring out how to join them in a way that made the white space feel like one continuous canvas. That took a lot of trial and error, but eventually I found a stitch pattern that more or less disappeared. One of the rules that I have for every item in my wardrobe is it has to have pockets. So for the cardigan, I chose to sew them on, using the same type of granny square for the pocket as well as underneath. This worked well and blended nicely and gave the whole piece that extra bit of function. The sleeves were a bit of a puzzle too. I wanted shape and ease, but just 2 squares per sleeve. So I had to build a kind of V into the layout to make it fit over my shoulders and arms. And finally, the collar and the hem were where everything came together or could fall apart. I knew they needed structure to stabilize all this softness, as well as give the cardigan this sort of refined final touch. So I decided to go with a slip stitch. Hours and hours of slip stitch to frame the whole cardigan. The blocking process made me a little bit nervous as I was worried that the colors would bleed into each other, but it worked really well and once again made a huge difference in how clean and finished everything looked. So this is the final cardigan. I'm really pleased with how it turned out and I learned a lot along the way. It's still a bit of an odd one out in my wardrobe, but overall it works. It is relaxed, the materials are refined, and it's definitely glowing. Thanks a lot for joining me on this video about my little adventure. I'll see you in the next one.